Kodak. The name itself evokes memories. For over a century, Kodak was synonymous with photography. Founded in the late 19th century, the company grew rapidly, becoming a household name. Kodak provided easy-to-use cameras and affordable film, making photography accessible to everyone. Families documented their lives, capturing birthdays, holidays, and everyday moments. Kodak became embedded in the fabric of society. Their yellow and red logo was a symbol of trust and quality. Kodak was a giant, seemingly untouchable. The company's success was built on innovation. Kodak constantly refined its products and processes. They introduced new camera models and film types, always staying ahead of the curve. This constant evolution solidified their dominance in the photography market. Kodak was a true American success story. What many people don't realize is that Kodak played a pivotal role in the invention of the digital camera. In 1975, one of their engineers, Steve Sasson, created the first prototype. This groundbreaking invention had the potential to revolutionize the industry. Sasson's digital camera was rudimentary compared to today's standards. It was the size of a toaster and took blurry black and white images. However, it held the promise of a future without film. This invention could have been Kodak's next big thing. Instead of embracing this innovation, Kodak hesitated. They were afraid of disrupting their highly profitable film business. At the time, this fear made sense. Film sales accounted for the vast majority of Kodak's revenue. The digital camera threatened to dismantle this lucrative empire. While Kodak hesitated, the world around them was changing. The 1980s saw the rise of personal computers. Technology was advancing at a rapid pace. Digital imaging technology, though still in its early stages, was improving. The seeds of disruption were being sown. Other companies, unburdened by Kodak's legacy, saw the potential of digital photography. Companies like Sony and Canon began investing heavily in research and development. They saw an opportunity to challenge Kodak's dominance. These new players were not afraid to take risks. They understood that the future of photography was digital. They were willing to cannibalize their existing businesses to stay ahead of the curve. This willingness to disrupt themselves would prove to be crucial. The 1990s witnessed the rapid rise of digital cameras. This era marked a significant shift in the way we captured and preserved memories. Early models were expensive and limited in quality, but they quickly improved. As technology advanced, digital cameras became more accessible to the average consumer. Consumers, initially hesitant, were drawn to the convenience and affordability of digital, no more developing film. The ability to instantly see the photos they had taken was revolutionary. No more waiting for prints. The immediacy of digital photography changed the landscape of personal and professional photography forever. Instant gratification was the new norm. Sharing photos became easier and faster, paving the way for the social media explosion we see today. Kodak, despite its early invention, was slow to react. The company, which had dominated the film industry for decades, struggled to adapt to the new digital age. They finally introduced their first digital camera in 1995, but it was too little, too late. By then, other companies had already established a strong foothold in the market. The company seemed stuck in the past, clinging to their fading film empire. Their reluctance to fully embrace digital technology cost them dearly. They underestimated the speed and magnitude of the digital revolution. The rapid growth of digital camera sales caught them off guard. By the late 1990s, digital cameras were outselling film cameras. The shift was undeniable, and the market was never the same again. The writing was on the wall. Kodak's dominance was waning, and their stock prices reflected the company's struggles. Kodak's once dominant market share was crumbling. The company that had once been synonymous with photography was now facing an uncertain future. They had become a victim of their own success, blinded by their past achievements. The digital tide had risen, and Kodak was left behind, a stark reminder of the importance of innovation and adaptability. Section 5. A giant stumbles. The new millennium marked a period of intense struggle for Kodak. The company tried to diversify, venturing into areas like printers and digital photo frames. However, these efforts felt disjointed, lacking a clear vision. Kodak seemed lost in the digital age. The financial impact was devastating. Revenue plummeted as film sales dried up. Thousands of jobs were lost as Kodak closed factories and downsized operations. The once mighty giant was now teetering on the brink of collapse. Despite the dire situation, there were glimmers of hope. Kodak still possessed valuable patents in digital imaging. They also had a loyal customer base, nostalgic for the Kodak brand. Could they turn things around? Section 6. The Fall of a Titan. In 2012, after years of struggle, Kodak filed for bankruptcy. This marked the end of an era for a company that had been a household name for over a century. Kodak was synonymous with photography, capturing memories for generations. It was a stunning fall from grace for a company that had once been a symbol of American innovation. Founded in 1888 by George Eastman, Kodak revolutionized the photography industry with its easy-to-use cameras and film. The news sent shockwaves through the business world. Investors were stunned, and analysts scrambled to understand how such a dominant player could falter so dramatically. Kodak's demise became a cautionary tale about the importance of adapting to change. Despite pioneering digital photography, Kodak failed to capitalize on its innovations, clinging to its profitable film business for too long. The bankruptcy proceedings were complex and drawn out. Lawyers and creditors negotiated over the company's remaining assets, while employees faced an uncertain future. Kodak sold off assets, including its valuable patents, to stay afloat. These patents, once the crown jewels of the company, were auctioned off to the highest bidders. The company was broken up, its legacy tarnished. Offices were closed, factories were sold, and the iconic Kodak sign was taken down. The Kodak story became a stark reminder that no company, no matter how big or successful, is immune to disruption. The once bustling factories and offices now stood empty, a testament to the relentless pace of technological change. The fall of Kodak had a profound impact on its employees, investors, and the city of Rochester, New York, where the company was headquartered. Thousands lost their jobs and the local economy suffered. It was a painful reminder that the relentless march of progress can leave even giants in its wake. Kodak's story serves as a lesson in the importance of innovation and the dangers of complacency in an ever-evolving market. Section 7. A new dawn for Kodak. After emerging from bankruptcy, Kodak was a shadow of its former self. The company shifted its focus to commercial printing and imaging technologies. They sought to leverage their expertise in areas like packaging and functional printing. While Kodak is unlikely to regain its former glory, it has carved out a niche in these specialized markets. They have embraced digital technologies, albeit in a different context. Kodak's story is a testament to the resilience of a brand even after facing such adversity. The question remains, could Kodak have avoided this fate? Could they have embraced digital photography and maintained their dominance? It's impossible to know for sure, but their story offers valuable lessons for businesses of all sizes. Section 8. Lessons from a fallen giant. Kodak's downfall highlights the importance of embracing innovation, even when it threatens your core business. Companies that cling to the status quo, afraid to disrupt themselves, risk being disrupted by others. The innovator's dilemma, a concept I explored in my own work, explains this phenomenon. Another crucial lesson is the need for agility. The pace of technological change is relentless. Companies need to be able to adapt quickly to new realities. Kodak's slow response to the digital revolution proved fatal. Finally, Kodak's story underscores the importance of leadership. Visionary leaders are essential for navigating disruptive change. They have the courage to challenge the status quo and make bold decisions. Kodak's leadership unfortunately lacked this foresight. Section 9. Innovation, the key to survival. In today's rapidly evolving world, innovation is no longer optional. It is the driving force that propels businesses forward, ensuring they remain relevant and competitive in a landscape that is constantly shifting. It is an imperative for survival. Without innovation, companies risk stagnation and obsolescence, unable to keep pace with the rapid advancements in technology and changing consumer expectations. Companies that embrace new technologies, adapt to changing customer needs, and foster a culture of innovation will thrive. They will be the ones setting trends, leading markets, and shaping the future. Those that don't will face the same fate as Kodak. Once a giant in the photography industry, Kodak failed to adapt to the digital revolution and paid the ultimate price. The story of Kodak serves as a stark reminder that even the most successful companies are vulnerable to disruption. Their downfall was not due to a lack of resources or talent, but a failure to innovate. It is a cautionary tale about the importance of embracing change, challenging assumptions, and constantly innovating. Businesses must be willing to question the status quo and explore new possibilities. The future belongs to those who are willing to disrupt themselves before someone else does. This proactive approach to innovation can be the difference between success and failure. The lessons from Kodak's fall are timeless and universal. They highlight the critical need for businesses to stay agile, forward-thinking, and responsive to change. They apply to businesses across all industries and geographies. No matter the sector, the principles of innovation and adaptability are key to long-term success. In an era of unprecedented technological change, the only constant is the need to innovate or be left behind. Embracing this reality is the key to survival and prosperity in the modern world.